You have some breaking news this morning. I know on Face the Nation you're going to be talking about the JFK assassination 50 years later in this new book by Philip Sheenan. What have we learned that's never been heard before?
What is interesting, and this is the book, Phil Sheenan was an investigative reporter for the New York Times for a long, long time, and he has done just a magnificent job of investigating and connecting the dots of how the Warren Commission investigated this thing. And you know, he doesn't dispute their conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman, and he again underlines what the rest of us have been saying for years. There's no evidence to suggest there was a conspiracy or anybody else involved. But what he also makes clear is the FBI and the CIA really misled the commission. Both of these agencies were so afraid that they might be blamed because they knew of Oswald and they had been watching him in Mexico City. And they just wanted to make sure their agencies weren't blamed. They didn't play straight with the Warren Commission.
But there were always questions about Fidel Castro.
This is one of the interesting little tidbits in this book. It's a secret that has held for 50 years. The commission actually sent an investigator to the waters off Cuba. They took him in a U.S. Navy boat. He got onto a yacht. There was Fidel Castro, and Castro had sent word that he wanted to talk to the commission. And this was thought to be so controversial they didn't do it. Anyway, the investigator gets off the boat, talks to Castro. They talk for 3 hours. Castro says, well, as you would expect, no way, no how did I have anything to do with it. And it turns out, and to me, this is the most fascinating part of all, that young investigator was William Coleman, who later became Secretary of Transportation in Gerald Ford's administration.
Even more interesting, he had met Castro early in Harlem.
Yes, they both liked music, and he had first met Castro when Castro apparently was on his honeymoon.